Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Costello, and I'm going to be showing you how to complete a UC or a CSU application for my personal growth class. So, the first part before you even start applying, you need to know your basic eligibility requirements. If you're transferring from a community college, you're going to need 60 accumulative units. You're going to need to have passed 2 English courses with a C or better. In my case, it'd be English 101, English 105, which are the basic English courses. You're going to need have passed 1 course of college level math, whether it just be basic college algebra or calculus. And then you're also going to need 4 courses from either art and humanities, behavior and social sciences, or biological and physical science, and you can pick 2 of those 3 categories. So the next thing when you start your general application, of course, they're going to ask you about your general background. It's going to be your ethnicity, your race, how many units you've taken, which has to be at least 60, your name, address, your income, your family size, family income, and most likely your parents' occupation. Then they're going to go on to ask you your majors that you're interested in. And then if you want to apply for scholarships, again, they're going to ask you your background, your academic interest, and your career options. After that, they're going to move on to your academic history. So they're going to start with your math and your language courses that you took in 7th and 8th grade. If you took algebra, geometry, and then if you took foreign language, math, Chinese, French, and then they're going to ask you about where you went to high school, what your grades were like, where you got your diploma, and you're going to have to list all of your high schools, even if you were only there for a short period of time. And then they're going to ask you your grade point average, if you took any AP classes, what your grade in that class was, and all that kind of stuff. Next, they're going to move on to activities and achievements or rewards. They're going to ask you if you were in any kind of other programs, like a language immersion program, or if you tutored kids, if you did community service, your work experience, all the jobs you've had in high school. Then they're going to move on to honors and awards. So say you were on a soccer team and you got most valuable player, you can put that down. Or if you were in any other kind of club and you got a prize or an award for that. And then they're going to ask you, again, extracurricular stuff, if you were sports, if you were class president, or if you were in film class, stuff like that. Next, they're going to move on to test scores. If you are transferring from high school, you're going to have completed the ACT or the SAT by September of your senior year. And then they're going to ask you if you've taken any other external exams that qualify you for college. So with your test scores, you can send them to multiple schools at once. If you're applying to multiple UCs, you can pick the option to, say, apply to Riverside, Santa Barbara, UCSD. And then they're going to ask you if you took the SAT subject test, if you are planning on majoring in any kind of math or a science. Then they're going to ask you your AP exam scores and then other external exams. Next part is the personal statement, which probably is the most vital part of your application. I know many people get nervous when they're filling this out because it's the first impression that this college is going to have of you. So basically, it's going to want to go over who you are, what's important to you, what you like to do in your free time, and the most important things to remember when you're doing this is to be open and honest with yourself. Read the prompts carefully, write in a focused and thoughtful manner. Provide specific examples. Don't be too broad. You want to go into depth when you're talking about yourself. There's also going to be 2 required prompts and then 1 optional prompt. Don't When you're writing this, don't let anyone else write it. You don't want your teacher to write it, your parents or friends. You really need to do it by yourself so the university has an idea of the kind of person you are. And most importantly, relax when you're writing it. Yeah, it's a big part of your application, but it doesn't determine if you're going to get into school solely on your personal statement. The next thing you're going to want to do is review your application to make sure there's no errors, you have all the correct information in, because your applications are non-refundable. So if you make a mistake, you're going to be losing money. It's going to be costing you a lot of wasted time and effort. After you send your application in, you're going to get an email from the schools you applied to, and then you're also going to get a confirmation number, and you're going to want to keep that with you. The next thing I'm going to talk about is common mistakes and tips for filling out your applications. You're going to want to double check the scores that you entered, your AP scores more specifically. I've heard stories of people entering the wrong AP scores and then possibly not getting into schools. Another big mistake that people do is they skip over the scholarship section because it is quite lengthy, but you're potentially missing out on free money that can help you with your school. There's usually always some kind of scholarship for somebody, whether it be your ethnicity, some community service you like to do, the careers that you're interested in. There's usually something for everyone. Don't leave anything blank. Even if you don't have an exact answer or the options don't pertain to you, just pick the one that's most like you, because like you said, you really don't want to leave anything on your application blank. Some tips for your application: definitely start early. You don't want to be procrastinating at the end and having to do it last minute and you're barely making the deadline. You don't want to worry about that because these applications are extremely important and you want to give yourself as much time as possible to review it and go over it and make sure everything is right. For your essays, you're going to want to pick solid topics that you're going to be able to build off of, that you're going to be able to provide examples for, stuff like that. Another thing, write persuasively. You don't just want to state stuff about yourself. You're going to want to tell them why you're a good option to go to their school, what's good about you, and most importantly, you just need to relax. People get extremely worked up. They overthink their applications a lot, and really you need to be yourself and put your best foot forward. So those are all the basic tips and overview of going through a UC application. I hope this was helpful to some people, and good luck.